him now.
Phil Suarez to the IL, it looks like. Do you have the MRI, and what did it say?
Had it not too long ago. We're waiting on the doctors to call us, but yeah, he's not feeling very good today. As expected, really, there was going to be some soreness. So waiting to talk to the doctors and see what our next steps are.
Do you know how you'll address that rotation spot moving forward? Is that still TBD?
Well, right now, you look at it, the easy way to go is probably just to move Silseth in there. We have some time. It's really not until the next Wednesday in Baltimore. So everybody will stay on their days up until then, and then we'll figure it out as we get closer. Silseth makes the most logical sense, like the way he threw it yesterday, to make that start.
Yesterday after the game, you talked about the defensive miscues, how they were addressed at the moment, they would be addressed again. Was that conversation on the field, addressing those again?
We go over things every day with the infielders. Benji does a great job with them. Really, for me, the uniformity of getting guys in the right spots and, more consistent level. As we went into this season, I know I made some comments about, hey, you can platoon in right and left, and why not do it here? But more so is there's a lot of moving parts when Net's not playing, and we move guys all over the field, which it's necessary, yes, but it also takes a lot away from some of the work you can put in, and these guys are out here working every day. So things to communicate with, sure. As we've said, Neto's kind of shored up the uniformity of the infield. He's back in there tonight, and I think that'll help.
Was there any thought to leaving him in that leadoff spot?
Right now, I've been looking either way. I went back and forth with it from last night to today. I think where we're at our best, when Wardo's going well, is to have him there. And Neto really in that 9 spot is kind of almost another leadoff spot once we start rolling through this. So to have a quality at bat out of the 9 hole, I think with what we have at the top is important, and he's able to go both ways. Certainly not going to move Wardo down to 9, so it just makes more sense to do this.
How was Chad Wallach doing?
He's okay. He's gonna go through some routine stuff today, but just woke up with some stiffness in his neck yesterday. So just in case, we're able to carry a taxi squad guy as a catcher. So just in case he's not able to go, but we think he's going to be all right. Just has some stiffness in his neck that has caused a lot of discomfort and would be tough to catch, especially taking whether it's a foul tip or what when you're dealing with the neck behind the plate. So we're going to be cautious with it, but we think he's all right.
Bill, what have you seen from Theis's at bats lately that's kind of working for him?
Really good, consistent for one. I think he's swinging at the right pitches. He's hitting a lot of balls hard, understanding what they're trying to do to him, not doing too much. I think he got a lot in, last year, not getting a lot of at bats. I got to get in here and hit one out of the park instead of just taking a quality at bat. I think the quality of at bats are more consistent for him is really the best way I can put it.
Cesar Valdez, what kind of went into the decision for him to be called up?
We need length, and if I got to call on somebody and I can throw him however many pitches, that's the choice there. And he's somebody that's shown. He can throw just about every day as many pitches as you want. And he'll take the ball in any spot. So hopefully Sandy has a good one, and it doesn't have to go that way. But we certainly have the luxury of putting him out there and getting a quality arm on the mound.
Suarez yesterday said he started feeling in the second inning, and then obviously doesn't tell you guys until the third when he's the game's kind of where it is. I assume you prefer players when they're hurt to be open about that.
I understand where we're going with that line of questioning, certainly, but players aren't going to do that. They're just not. You feel a little discomfort. Once we pass opening day, everybody feels a little discomfort. I do, just standing on the steps over here. It's just the way it is. I understand what he was going through. I didn't say it yesterday, meaning he should have told me the second he felt something. A lot of times you feel something, you can pitch through it, you can play through it, swing through it, run through it, and it just got to the point where he couldn't yesterday. And the fact is he had a lot more volume of pitches than he should have because of the miscues we made behind him. So that leads to that kind of thing. If we're able to finish that third where we were at, he comes in and gets some rest and maybe the soreness subsides, and he's able to go back out and pitch another 3 innings of quality ball, but had to stand out there while it was, whether it's fatigue or injury or anything like that. When you're trying to pitch through something, it's hard to make your pitches, and understanding where he was at. And I'm proud of him for trying to gut it out. You know, do I mention it? Hey, let me know if it gets, past the point, where it's going to cause injury. Yeah, but the mentality of some of these guys and wanting to win and their competitive nature, it's natural to do that. I did it. Gooby did it, I'm sure. It's just the way it is.
So where's that line between this is discomfort and this is something I can't play through?
Well, I mean, it's the longer you're on the field, and he's young, you understand those things. And maybe for somebody that's never had an injury and has pitched through some soreness before, you don't quite understand what injured is. And it's not a knock on anybody. It's not a knock on any player. It's just they know your body more than anybody. But until you've had an injury that sets you back for a long time, you probably don't know what that feels like. And, everything just seems sore. And he's got a high pain tolerance, too. I will say that. He's as tough as anybody out here and really felt like he could get through it, and it just got to the point where he couldn't.
Hey, Phil, you mentioned you really liked Silseth as like a short, high leverage kind of guy. Mm-hmm. Does this now take him out of that role because you want him to build up to maybe start a week from Wednesday?
Well, we feel like we built him up pretty good yesterday. I think he got close, right around 70 pitches, which is where he was before. I didn't see too much drop off in his stuff towards the end there, except for when I had to go get him in the 7th. But we know we got him built up that far. The next start, if that's the case, is 10 days out. So, if there's a chance he could pitch in that role at some point, throughout the week. But if we decide on him making that start, we'd have to choose the days, choose them wisely, which would normally be like his bullpen day, get him in some game action. But it would certainly take him out of that role, obviously, if he's making starts.
Did you consider Davidson? Just use Davidson for the start and have Silseth keep going?
Yeah, he hasn't really. It's now we're looking at over a month since he's really been stretched out in that kind of scenario. So, and it makes more sense with Silseth because of what he, just recently, as 2 weeks ago, he was making starts in AAA. So, I think he's more prepared for it physically, and have a right-hander in there, left-hander, it really doesn't matter to me. But throwing another righty in there might make a difference too.
What do you make it? Rendon obviously makes a lot of really Gold Glove caliber plays, and then there's also plays where it feels like it's just he's leads the league in third base, errors at third base. How do you what do you make of his defense this year?
Yeah, I think he's had some tough plays. There's been flashes of really, really good stuff. And he made a comment to me today. He just feels like he hasn't caught many clean this year, and there's some hand drills he was going to get on today. I'm not worried about his defense at all. I understand the injuries he's been going through this year too. Nothing really physical with his arm or anything like that. It's just, he hadn't been out there for a while. And remember, he took a whole year off, basically last year. Third base is it's a tough position to play. Pitchers are throwing harder. There's more stuff. There's the slow rollers. Guys are hitting balls harder at him. I think the more he's out there, the better he's going to get. Though yesterday, the one on the infield end, that's the one that bothered him the most as far as not making the play mentally. What bothered him, nothing really gets to him mentally. I'm just saying that's the one he told me he thought about all night, and I wasn't really worried about it because of the ball, how hard it was hit, and he did bobble it, but we were still able to make a decent throw home, and then the ball and glove and leg arrived at the same time. So, like I said, he's really good over there, and I expect him to be really good the rest of the year.